Hello. Welcome to the Shree Memorial Library Storytime Online. I am Barbara Bennett, an AKA volunteer here at the Wallet Branch Library. Today I am going to read the story entitled, How Full is Your Bucket? This book is written by Tom Rath and Mary Rettmeyer. Each of us has an invisible bucket. When our bucket is full, we feel great. When it is empty, we feel awful. Yet most children and even adults don't realize the importance of having a full bucket throughout the day. In How Full is Your Bucket, Felix, who is the main character, begins to see how every interaction in a day either fills or empties his bucket. Felix then realizes that everything he says or does to other people fills or empties their buckets as well. Follow along with Felix as he learns how easy it is to fill the buckets of his classmates, his teachers, his family members, and others. Before the day is over, you will see how Felix learned to be a great bucket filler, and in the process discovers that filling someone else's bucket also fills his own. Excuse me. Now, as I read this story, I want you to think to yourself, how many buckets will you fill today? How full is your bucket? Okay, this is Felix. He is the main character. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scolded. "Go away. You're too little." His little sister says, "I'm big." Felix says, "Stay back. You'll knock it over." His little sister says, "I can be very careful." Felix says to her, "Go play with your baby toys, Anna." Anna gets upset and whack, she knocks over the blocks. "Grandpa!" Grandpa shook his head. He said to Felix, "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. When it's full, she feels great. Did you ever notice your own bucket?" Invisible bucket. Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But here's a picture of Grandpa, Anna being upset, and Felix again. But the next morning, when Felix woke up, there is a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning, and it's almost time to go." "Anna, sit still." She's trying to comb Anna's hair. Okay, and I know you can imagine what's about to happen on this page. Okay, and it happened. Felix slipped, and cocoa wheat scattered across the floor. "Felix!" yelled his mom. "You should have used a stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip, and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha, ha, ha, ha!" Anna laughed. as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. Now you get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded his mom. When the school bus was honking, Felix quickly swept up the cocoa wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, his dog Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. Hey, he's on the bus now. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Okay, kids making fun. Another drip in Felix's, another drip out of Felix's bucket. Psst, Felix, psst. Students, classmates over in the corner whispering behind Felix's back. Drip, another drip out of his bucket. He's trying to make it to class. Watch out, shrimp. Drip, another drip out of his bucket. So he's in his classroom on his way to his classroom. It's still morning and Felix's bucket feels quite empty. As Felix watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. He's wishing bad luck on his classmates. He's having a bad day so far. So he's in his classroom. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bunkle-Nickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him his paper. He could hardly bear to look. Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please read it to the class? Said his teacher. Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right into his bucket. Dropped into his bucket. Okay? So, a few pages ago, the bucket was tilted and the drops were falling out of the bucket, but he got his first drop into the bucket for the day. Wow, drop, plop, plink, drop. The Rhinoceros Who Wanted a Pet was the name of his story, by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and ooh at the scary places. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. So Felix is feeling really good now. So he's at lunch. He opens his lunch bag. And wow, there's a note in there from his mom saying, I love you, Mom. And he has a lunch partner. So drop into the bucket. He's feeling good. He's going to PE class here. His PE teacher tells him that he's going to be one of the team captains, along with his friend Veronica. Drop in the bucket. He's feeling even more happy. All right, the next page, he's in his art class. He's drawing his picture and his art teacher comes over and say, nice cow. Of course, Felix says to him, it's a dog. Then the teacher says to him, well, nice colors there, Felix. So again, a great compliment. Felix is feeling happy for getting that compliment from his teacher. Okay, he's moving right along. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Another compliment from one of his classmates. A good feeling for Felix. So by the afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. So Felix, after PE, Felix went into the classroom. His teacher dropped some papers on the floor, and he said, "Let me help you." And the teacher said, "Thank you." So if you notice, Felix has a bucket over his head. The teacher has a bucket over his head. A drop fell into both buckets. Felix was being very helpful, which is a good thing. "Here's your baseball catch. Thanks, dude." In this picture here, he was helping out a friend who had dropped his baseball. So he threw it to him. He caught it. He said, "Thank you." A drop in Phyllis's bucket, a drop in his friend's bucket. Okay? The next page. "Hi, I'm Felix. Is this your first day?" "Yes, I'm Amir." Okay, he's meeting a student for the first time. This is the student's first day of school. And isn't it wonderful to have someone to come up and greet you if you are new at a school? Felix was being friendly to this new student. So there was a drop in his bucket and a drop in the new student's bucket. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix it." Of course, Anna is still upset. She's crying. "Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" This was Felix's way of making his sister become happy after she was unhappy when her doll got torn. And so they did. They built the biggest tower in the world with the blocks. The end. How full is your bucket? Now I'm going to show you a little example before I leave. This is a bucket. And remember now, when you fill someone else's bucket, you also fill your own bucket. But what are some things that you wouldn't want to tilt your bucket? Some of the things that you wouldn't want to tilt your bucket is to be hurtful. When you hurt someone's feelings, or even when someone hurts your feelings, it would tilt your bucket, okay? Being left out of a group or an activity, that's a hurtful feeling as well. So you don't want to be guilty of leaving someone out of a play activity, because it really hurts when someone leaves you out. It tilts your bucket. Mad. You don't want to make anyone mad or angry. Of course, if someone makes you mad or angry, it's going to tilt your bucket as well. Okay, now what can we do to fill our bucket? Okay, brave. Be brave. Be courageous. Be brave enough to stand against bullies. Be brave enough to stand against peer pressure. Be brave enough to stand up for your friends and family. Sharing. Sharing is caring. Sharing is giving. Sharing is love. Take time out to do something special for someone to show that you love them. It's going to fill your bucket and it's going to fill their bucket. And most importantly, happy. What can you do to put a smile on a person's face to make them happy? Because when you make someone happy, you are definitely going to be happy. So with that being said, how full is your bucket? I hope it overflows with happiness. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story, How Full is Your Bucket? Thank you.